It was Christmas Eve, 1971, a time for family, for celebration, for coming home. But high above the dense canopy of the Peruvian Amazon, a storm was gathering. Inside LANSA Flight 508, 93 souls were making their way towards Pucallpa, oblivious to the drama about to unfold in the churning clouds outside. Among them was a 17-year-old girl named Julianne Kopke, excited to reunite with her renowned zoologist father for the holidays. She sat beside her mother, watching the world below disappear into a sea of green. Then the turbulence began. The plane shuddered, tossed about by forces beyond its control. A sudden, blinding flash of light, a deafening crack of thunder that was far too close. A bolt of lightning had found them. The wing, engulfed in flames, tore away from the fuselage. The aircraft began to disintegrate around its passengers. A chilling wind rushed in, and the silent, terrifying fall began. For 2 miles, nearly 10,000 feet, Julianne Kopke plummeted towards the earth. She was still strapped to her bench of 3 seats, a fragile human fragment spiraling through the storm. The roar of the wind was everything. Then it was nothing. She awoke the next morning, not in the sky, but under it, the sole survivor of the crash. She lay on the damp floor of the Amazon rainforest, the world's largest, most unforgiving wilderness. Her collarbone was broken. Her right eye was swollen shut. The capillaries burst from the rapid decompression. She had 1 shoe, a torn dress, and a small bag of candy. She was just 17 years old, and she was utterly, terrifyingly alone. The silence of the jungle, broken only by the hum of insects and the calls of unseen creatures, was now her only companion. Panic was a luxury she could not afford. Growing up at her parents' research station deep in the Amazon, Julianne had absorbed lessons that were about to become her lifeline. Her father, a famous biologist, had taught her about the jungle's rhythms, its dangers, and its secrets. He had once told her that if she were ever lost, she should find a stream and follow it. Waterways, he explained, always lead to larger rivers, and where there are rivers, there are people. This simple piece of advice became her compass. She found a small creek and began to walk. The journey was an agonizing trial. Her open wounds became infested with maggots. The bag of candy was her only sustenance. She waded through waters patrolled by stingrays and caimans, her every step a battle against exhaustion and despair. Days blurred into a haze of pain and relentless forward motion. She heard the faint sound of rescue planes overhead, but the jungle's canopy was too thick. They could not see her. She was invisible to the world. For 10 agonizing days, the jungle was her world. Then, on the 11th day, her father's wisdom proved true. The small stream had led her to a larger river, and on its bank, she saw it, a small, moored boat next to a tiny, makeshift hut. It was the first sign of human life she had seen since the plane broke apart in the sky. She crawled into the hut, too weak to stand, and waited. Hours later, a group of local loggers returned. They were stunned to find the ghost-like girl covered in mud and insects. They treated her wounds with local remedies, gave her food, and the next day took her on a long canoe journey to a small town. From there, she was airlifted to a hospital. Her 11-day ordeal was over. She was the miracle girl, the sole survivor of LANSA Flight 508. Years later, Julianne, now a biologist herself, was drawn back to the place that had both taken everything and spared her. She returned to the Amazon, a landscape forever imprinted on her memory. to confront the ghosts of her past. She journeyed to the crash site, a place she had only ever seen from above during her terrifying descent. There, scattered among the dense undergrowth, were the final, silent remnants of the flight fragments of the fuselage, personal belongings, and the resting places of the other 92 souls, including her own mother. It was a pilgrimage of closure, a somber discovery that finally answered the questions that had haunted her for decades. She learned that several other passengers had, in fact, survived the initial fall, only to succumb to their injuries in the days that followed. Her survival was not just a matter of luck, but a testament to the knowledge passed down from her father and an indomitable will to live. What she found was not just the wreckage of a plane, but the final chapter of a story that began on that fateful Christmas Eve. To truly understand the depths of human resilience, sometimes we must look to those who have walked through the impossible. If you are moved by stories of survival against all odds, take a moment to explore other accounts of human endurance. Each one holds a powerful lesson about the strength we carry within us.